And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Tom Vasel.
I'm really excited today, folks, because today I get to talk to you about Zendo. Zendo is a game that came out well over a decade ago. It was a spin-off of one of the pyramid games from Looney Labs. Looney Labs had made different pyramid games that all were around these... Let me find a pyramid in here. Around these plastic pyramids. In fact, I have a whole setup now, Ice House Pyramids. It's fantastic. I love using these for games. But the best game that they ever made about these was Zendo. Zendo was a game that, in its original iteration, it was it had a Buddhist theme put on it, and it was just basically a logic game. You know, what rule is in effect here? And people have been playing this sort of game in parlors and online before, but Zendo put it into a box, and I loved it. Went out of print. Finally, it's back in print. But it's not just with pyramids anymore. Now we got these rectangular prisms, and we got wedges. So we have blocks, wedges, and pyramids. And 3 different colors. But it's the exact same game. They got rid of the theme, which I'm kind of glad about, because the theme was kind of a little wonky. Now it's just a straight up, someone's a moderator, you're asking questions. Here's how it plays. So this game comes with a whole pile of pieces here. So let's not get confused. There's actually 9 main pieces here. We have these pieces in 3 colors, blue, yellow, and red. We have a pyramid, we have a wedge, and then we have this quadrilateral or rectangular prism. Then there's also going to be some guessing tokens. We have black for no, white for yes, and then these tokens here are going to allow you to make guesses overall. So everyone's going to start with one of each of these tokens. One person's going to be the moderator, and that person is going to pick basically a rule. Now there's different cards that they can pick from. These are the easy cards, but there are also medium and hard cards. So let's just pick a medium one at random. So we pick this here, and you're going to put 2 clips on this card. Now in this case, the 2 clips are decoys. So everyone thinks that there might be clips on the cards, but they don't matter because this rule is always the same. Let's pick one that does have some clips on it. This one here. The structure must contain at least 1 yellow, blue, or red, and then a decoy. So it must contain at least 1 wedge, and then I'll put 1 here for a decoy. So a structure must have at least 1 wedge. So then I'm going to create, as the moderator, I'll create 2 things in front of me. I'll say this one here is correct, and this one here is incorrect. Now, players are looking at this trying to figure out what this might mean. All right? So this one, you need at least 1 wedge in here, so that's correct, but maybe the rule also could be all the pieces have to be red. Players aren't quite sure, so each person's going to take a turn going around the table. And when it's someone's turn, the first thing they're going to do is they're going to take some pieces and make something. So maybe somebody will make this in front of them. Now they're trying to guess, maybe, is it all the same color? That's kind of what they're thinking. So when you put this in front of you, you have 2 options. When you put one in front of you, you're going to either then tell or quiz. If you say tell, then the moderator is either going to tell you correct or incorrect. In this case, they say correct because it has at least 1 wedge. If they say quiz, everyone's going to take the 2 that they have in their hand, and they're going to guess whether it's correct or not. Once everyone's guessed, the moderator will put down the right answer, and if you guessed correctly, you get a guessing token. Now these guessing tokens that you have, you can use these at the end of your turn. You can make an official guess. So maybe it's my turn, I'd be like, they're all of 1 color. And so when that happens, then the moderator is going to either make something they're going to make some sort of grouping that's going to disprove that. So they might say this one and say no, because that proves it. They're all the same color. Or maybe they might do something like this and say, yes, this one is correct, because that also disproves it. So players are going to keep going around the table until someone's going to use one of these and actually, yes, if you have multiple of these, you can make multiple guesses on your turn. And if you guess it in such a way that the moderator cannot perform a counter for it. So, for example, if it says it must contain, it has to be all yellow, and I guess there can't be any red or blue, that would be a correct guess. Now, all this is in the rule book. There's a nice rule book here about getting started. It shows you all the different things that work in here. But there's also another book that comes with the game called Going Deeper. And this tells you just how different terminology works in case that matters, advice for players, tips to think about making patterns, more advice for being a moderator. And this is a really big deal because this is not that hard of a clue. But the medium ones, so let's take a look at a medium one. I might take this medium one here. A structure must contain a red that is touching a yellow. And that one is a little bit more difficult for people to guess. And the difficult ones, even more so, like this one here, a structure needs to have more blue than it has red. And if you try to make one on your own, you can, but these can be very difficult. And it might not seem that difficult to you guys as I'm making these, but even the easy ones can be hard for people to think of. And there's some rules, like they can't pick, I'm going to put this here, and the rule is, this must be facing the glass of water I have on the table. No, you can't do that. You can only pick things that are actually involved in the game at any point in time. So that's how you play. You're going to play one round. Different people will be moderators. And one person's going to win by guessing the clue. The next person can be the moderator for the next game. And you just keep going. Man, I do like this game. Man, I love each time as you build them and you're looking at all the ones that are out there. And eventually people are going to have to take down the different groupings that are put together and put together another one because there's not enough pieces left. And so you're trying to look at the ones that are out there now and figure it out. And I cannot emphasize enough in this game how important it is to start off on easy, go to medium and hard, and stick with these cards for the most part. Every time there's someone who's like, well, this one's not too hard. Each of these groupings has to have 2 yellow pieces and 1 blue piece pointing at a red piece. That's not that difficult. Oh, yes, it is. Anytime you think it's not that difficult, it's way more confusing when people guess it. I really like how they have these cards, though. They did a great job. This is brilliant. This is all the cards in the game, but these cards are a whole lot. So, for example, this might be a structure must contain an odd number of pieces. An even number of pieces or either 1 or 2 pieces. So this card is 3. A structure must have more blue than red or yellow, or more red than blue or yellow, then more yellow than red and blue. So this one here is 6 different based on these paper clips. But you put a paper clip on every single one, and sometimes there's decoys, so players are never quite sure if it's, the clips don't give anything away about the card. The cards are very basic. The 3 different shapes, I like this better than the pyramids. The pyramid one originally had 3 size pyramids, which were not so easily identifiable. And even then, the wedges and the pyramids, there's some similarities between them, so you can use that maybe in your rule. And I really like this book here, this Going Deeper. In the back here, it talks about how to play with 2. What do you do when you make a mistake? What do you do? Here's things not to do when you're the moderator. Like, as soon as someone starts building one, don't pick up the black chip right away, and people automatically know it's a bad thing. And I like that. It's a really cool thing. This is an easy into my collection. I love these logic things. I like looking at all of them and sitting there thinking, And you're always involved. The moderator is doing it. Even if it's not your turn, you're getting ready. And the other person might pick guess. If they pick guess, you have a chance to get another guessing token. In which case, you can then try to get the correct answer. When you have your guessing token, are you going to waste it? It will be gone. You won't get another chance to use that token. But you might get it right, too. And when you do, as the moderator, this game is equally fun, I think, for the moderator and as for the guesser. Because the moderator is trying to build these groupings together that don't give away the rules so obviously, and yet at the same time follow the rule that they have set. I could play this game over and over and over and over and over again. It is an excellent game. Recommend it for anyone who likes logic, anyone who likes fun. This is by far one of the best games Looney Labs has on the market. Get it now, Zendo. Dice Tower Judgment, excellent.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.
Shut the door.